Whether you're building your first mage march or trying to dominate in PvP, knowing which legendary mage hero truly shines can make or break your game. In this video, I'm going to rank the top 6 legendary mage heroes in Call of Dragons from the weakest to absolute best. Stick around because the first one is a beast even after 2 years of metas. So let's start with the hero that many players love or hate, but maybe a bit unfairly. And I'm talking about Taliyah. Taliyah is often considered weak, but that's not the full story. She actually not that bad when you look at her single target damage output, and she's doing pretty decent single target output. It's 1.6k and damage dealt bonus can go up to 15%. This is, after getting this rampage for like 5 seconds, which is something like 50% from the time. So I personally start using her against infantry because boy oh boy, I faced an alliance that is full with infantry and have never seen something like this in Call of Dragons, just an alliance having tons of infantry. And since nobody's sending infantry like in army groups like back in the days when the army groups was presented, people was like, oh my god, we should actually go with army groups with infantry. But faster people understand that a single infantry can stop 5 infantry army group, and this 5 infantry army group is going to get sacrificed at the cost of 1 infantry. So people start using single infantry legion and start do this blink tactic with the infantry, which is very annoying. And yeah, so I start actually using Taliyah, but Taliyah something is missing there. Unfortunately, in the game that favor AoE mages and burst potential, she is basically failing behind, just because AoE damage is way better. Now here you're going to see 1.6 on single target, but if I check it out, the other hero that was presenting Call of Dragons with her, which is Thunderlin, she's doing like 3 times for 6 seconds. Every 2 seconds is doing some damage. This is something like 1350 damage at the end of the day, which is close to her damage, but this one is doing AoE damage. And yeah, of course there is some diffused damage, we have to point out this thing also. But yeah, Taliyah was, Bertrand Tocher was presented, there is single target, but the synergy between Bertrand and Tocher is crazy. What I mean by that is Tocher is firing up before Bertrand, and Bertrand is a commander and is giving like 35% more attack. So the moment the Bertrand hit, the damage become absolutely game changer. So yeah, that's why I actually am going to put Taliyah on the place number 6. And coming up is an average mage that doesn't stand out but never let you down either. And I'm going to point again another single target hero. This is Bertrand, and there is a couple of reasons I actually put him there. Bertrand is the definition of, let's say, average, but sometimes average is good enough, especially against infantry. Those single target heroes is absolutely crazy against obviously single target like infantry. They don't have this thing like diffused damage and so on. Now the bad thing about the Bertrand is he's doing pretty well damage if he's not awakened. It's like 1.3, when you awake him it's like 1.5. And this hero strongly depend, and I want to point strongly depend on Tocher, and I explained that just the Tocher is firing up before Bertrand, and like this is boosting the Bertrand damage. The good thing about the Bertrand, something compared to Taliyah, is Bertrand is having the skill tower tree. Absolutely important if you want to do damage with your mages, because let's be honest, mages have the lowest attack in Call of Dragons. Only infantry, which is basically tanks, imagine the tank have more damage from the mages, is having less damage from the mages. And the difference between the second one, which is cavalry from point of damage, normal attack damage, and the third one, where is the mages, is pretty huge gap. Between cavalry and marksmen, the gap is small, but between the cavalry and mages, the gap of normal attack is pretty decent. So you want to have all this hero skill damage as you can. Right now my march is builded for march synchronization. Maybe I should take out this one, and maybe I'm going to rebuild my march speed, because I can just go with this one, and again some march speed over here. But so far I decided I want to get this spell, the final elite talents, because it's really hard to build some crazy march synergy when you basically have to sacrifice elite talents. This is at the end of the day. But yeah, Bertrand is going to be on the place number 5 just because he's not shining with something absolutely crazy. And the damage he's doing now, he's having some boosters, hero skill damage boosters, and some stacks and so on. But yeah, it's still not that great in damage dealing. And it's a single target. I really don't like to say it, but it's a single target. But yeah, this is my personal opinion. Of course, let me know in the comments below your personal opinion over the ranking. Do you think some hero maybe have some hidden power, something like that can make him shine over the rest of the mages? Let's talk about free-to-play favorite from the season 1, who is still holding strong. And I'm talking about the Velen. Obviously, Velen is a free-to-play player hero. Even right now, when you start playing Call of Dragons, you're going to have the opportunity to get him. The game is just giving free legendary heroes. When you start playing the game, something that was not like this back in the days when some old players started playing Call of Dragons, we was have to farm everything. I don't remember when I get Velen from the gold keys, but yeah, this is a free-to-play player hero, and he's holding position number 4. Now some people are going to ask, okay, we have one more single target hero, and this is Toher. Why Toher is not on place number 4 and it's actually Velen? And I'm going to explain this later and what is the place of the Toher, but so far we're talking about the Velen. Now, things I want to say about the Velen is remain at the top pick for free-to-play players ever season later, basically after the season 1. His skills all are solid. There is no stupid spell. Maybe I can say this one is a little stupid one because it's like percentage, 20% chance to inflict magic defense break and froze basically the target for 3 seconds. 3 seconds is a small amount of time. If you hit like every 5 hits, you're going to have something like for 3 seconds, which is actually covering pretty decent amount of time. If you think about, if you make 1 hit per second and every 10 seconds you rage skill, you're going to apply this thing 2 times because it's 20% chance to happen, which is gonna cover like 60% from the time. But this is on the single target. The other thing is Velen is not having skill talent. Obviously, people are going to pair Wodir with Velen, with Wodir as a captain of the marches, not actually Velen. So yeah, but still, he's pretty decent. Now, he's having 1 extra spell and Awakening, which is extra damage factor, but it requires the target to be frozen. So either you're going to use him with Wodir, or you have to count on this 20% chance on the target to actually apply this 400 extra damage, which is I don't like this Awakening. Back in the days I was thinking it's a game changing, but yeah, so far. But still, Velen is hitting like 3 legions, which is a decent amount. The march speed reduction is not something game changing, but the damage is 1.2k, which is not that much. Now the good thing, and maybe this is the only mage hero that is giving that, is actually hero skill, magic unit hero skill critical rate bonus, and you're going to get 10%. Now, if you can compare him with, for example, hero like Lilia, and from the talents you get this critical rate, focus, 10% chance to get 10% critical rate for 5 seconds. You can actually hit like 20% critical rate, and boy oh boy, this is a lot of criticals from Velen and Lilia. from point of, you know, doing some damage. But still, I think he's on the place number 4 just because the damage of this hero is not that much. He's maybe AoE damage dealer, but is a diffused damage, which is going to do less damage if the targets are more. So on single target is like 1.2, where Talea basically is going to outperform Valiant, but at the end of the day we're not fighting one-on-one, so that's why I think Valiant deserves like place number 4. And so far I really hope you enjoyed this video. Share your opinions, don't forget to like and subscribe if you agree. Even if you don't agree, just let me know what you think about some specific positions. So far we been seeing underwhelming and underrated, but now it's time for top tier mages that can carry entire marches. Next up, a hero people underrate. Personally, I'm also back in the days until they see his awakening buff in action. And on the place number 3 is going to be Toher. Now there's some reasons why I actually put that high Toher before Bertrand, before Velen. And the main reason is, first of all, he's hitting before everybody. This is very important in the poking game. Sometimes you're not going to have the opportunity to fire up your mages, especially when there is some crazy left, right, left, right, left, right, and you always have to go back, go in, go back, go in, and you're not going to have the opportunity to build this rage, you know, to fire up, for example, Bertrand. But Toher, I don't know, after 3 seconds, every second for 3 seconds, after launching 3 normal attacks, after 3 normal attacks, he's going to start charging his spell. This is absolutely important, and just because in the poking game he's going to do more damage. Now I check it out all of my legions, and Bertrand Toher in the poking game, fast speed, by fast speed I mean 41%, Bertrand Toher is outperforming all of my legions. The main reason behind is obviously Toher is just firing up till rest of the legions didn't get this rage, and I was having a condition and so hard fighting where even my artifacts didn't get enough rage to fire up. So in situation like this, Toher is going to save the day and do some extra damage. And at the end of the day, this hero alone at 5111 is going to do 1.5k damage. Because it's 3 times hitting for 500 damage, simple calculation is 1.5k. But this is not all for the Toher. The Toher awakening is giving like 35% for 5 seconds when he finished this one. Now this one is going to be having cooldown 4 seconds. So I don't know how many, it's like 3 normal attacks, let's say 3 seconds, 3 time to fire up for 3 seconds. It's basically every 10 seconds is going to be able to fire up his passive skill. So every 10 seconds you're going to have 35% extra attack. 35% is huge, especially if you run this bad boy with Bertrand, with Celestials. It's a single target killers. And back in the days, I think somebody told me that Bertrand Toher was created to counter marksmen. So yeah, this is a pretty decent awakening spell. But still, just because he's firing up before everybody, I think he actually deserves place number 3. And I was guilty. I want to share one story with you guys. Many dismissed Toher early on. I was part from these people. I was thinking, okay, Bertrand is flank one, okay, he's flank one, so maybe I'm going to put some points there, because back in the days people were still thinking that with flanked Celestials they can make change in the game. You cannot do big damage with Bertrand Thea, okay? So yeah, so I was guilty back in the days. I didn't actually believe that much in Toher, but after playing as with him for so long, I think he's a very, very, very good hero. And next one is Generation 3 monster with AoE and survivability tools, and I'm talking about Thunderlin. Now Thunderlin, obviously Generation 3, I'm so excited for Generation 4, I want to see what kind of mages is going to be there, but anyway, we're talking about Thunderlin. Now first of all, Thunderlin is doing pretty decent damage. is again diffused, but it's like 1350 because this spell is going to apply for 6 seconds. Every 2 seconds is going to do a tick, basically do 450 damage. Awaken it is going to be 500, so this is something in extras boosting the damage. So having 1.5k AoE damage dealer is significant. Now even Lilia is not having that big damage. I think most of the people start understanding who is going to be on the top, but still Thunderlin is a game changer personally for me. A lot of damage, and this is not all. It's also this thing where is Magic Legion lead base hero get 30% magic attack. Okay, with Celestials, you have to run this hero with Celestials and provide 20% more shield and healing. Now this hero is perfectly fit for Mu and Thea. Now slowly we'll start building huge amount of legions. We have generation 1, which is Lilia Velen. We have generation 2, Bertrand Tocher. We have generation 3, Talea with Thunderlin. And we start having more and more mages. Now, at the beginning, the first generation, Hosk was great pairing with Kenara, for example. And maybe, you know, it was more marksman hero. Hosk is more marksman hero. Now, right now, we're presented with Bahorn, also with Mu, which is looking like more mage hero, just because Bahorn is having skill tower tree. So slowly we're actually expanding the amount of mage heroes we're having in Call of Dragons. So we start, you know, every mage hero have to start fighting for their places under the sun. So yeah, I think the Thunderlin is a very good one, especially with this boosting the survivability, with pairing with Thea or maybe with Mu getting more healing. Each time Summoned Lightning deals damage to the target where in the field, it has 30% chance to deal additional magic damage to the target or random enemy near the target. Damage factor can go to up to 450. So you see, this hero can actually do pretty decent amount of damage, and this is the main reason I actually put her. Now the thing I don't like about her is the control tower tree, but I start thinking that maybe I should have one legion with control tower tree, just because from control tower tree, first of all, you have 10% chance to do some defense break, up to 5%, when you enter in the battle, reducing the march speed by 30%, and this hero from his spell is also having march speed reduction 40%, target damage taken bonus of 15%, which is, you know, for 2 seconds. Okay, it's not something crazy, but it's 15%. So yeah, this is the main reason, just from point of output and controls, that this hero can, I mean, by damage and controls over the target, I think this hero definitely deserved the place number 2. So far we even hit the upper ranks, power, meta defining, but who is still the king or queen after 2 years? And she's the OG burst queen, and she's still melting faces in 2025. And I'm talking about the Lilia. I'm not talking about the Lilia. First of all, something extremely specific that you don't see that much is she's having builded for her artifacts. This is Infernal Flame. Now, yeah, it's doing some damage, the Infernal Flame, but your Legion gets Magic Keen when you inflict Scorch. The only hero that is inflicting Scorch, this is Lilia. And even in the clip is Lilia. It's going to get 15% for 5 seconds. But you know, the artifacts is having something like, how much cooldown? 1 minute and 30 seconds, so you know, 5 seconds, not big deal. But it's built for Lilia. Let's start from there. Also, this hero can actually do crazy amount of damage. What I mean by that is, you know, 1.2k for first look, this is nothing. But it's hitting when she's awakened, because at the beginning she's going to hit only 2 legions, awakened is going to be 3 legions. It's going to hit 3 legions, if you catch 3 legions, of course, it's very important, that thing. Have 50% chance to inflict Scorch, that is doing damage every seconds for 5 seconds. The damage is like 200, but for 5 seconds is 1000, and this is not diffused damage, the Scorch one. Now the main damage is like diffuse it. I'm not quite sure about the scorch, but I don't think it's actually diffuse it. Now from there you can actually from one hit 3 targets for 1.2k diffuse it, okay? But if you apply scorch on 2 of these 3 targets, because like 50%, you can actually end up with pretty decent damage. And that's not all, she's having a spell that can spread the scorch. 20% chance to scorch when launching a normal attack, up to 2 surrounding enemy if the target legion is scourged. Obviously, if you hit one legion, there is a pretty decent chance this legion is going to get scourged. So yeah, you can spread this scorch. This is 1000 extra damage to like two more legions. So that's why I think this hero is having stupid spell. Okay, this is peacekeeping, 30% more peacekeeping damage. Nobody care about this thing. It's not even applying for the behemoths, but skill tower tree, magic tower tree, and having absolutely crazy damage skills. I think this is what actually people should actually care about. It's having some passive boost like magic attack bonus and unit HP 10%, but at the end of the day, still one of the top reports I'm having is with her, and that's why just by testing on the battlefield, I actually noticed that after 2 years, she is still on the top of the food chain. So this is my rank list, you know, this is like 6 heroes in Call of Dragons and how I think is ranking. If you can share your personal opinion in the comments below. So yeah, this will be for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comment, share with your friends, and yeah, I wish you a great day and see you in the next video.